Share the video, folks.
What mic am?
I am on mic 2. 102.
Kevin?
Is it 102?
No. Here one? Good morning, Trinidad. And of course, good morning to, should I say, Imbert Jr.? Imbert Jr., good morning to you. I hope that you are looking over the phone and declassifying some of the information on it. Although 8 years ago, the technology would not have been able to do quite a number of the things that the technology today could do. Because 8 years ago, I don't think those phones could receive WhatsApp, and I don't think they have the video capability. I don't think that, they have all of those niceties. So either Papa San is telling us something that is not right.
A lie?
I don't know if it's a lie. It could be a little untruth.
A lie?
A little untruth.
A big lie?
A little untruth.
S7 is the phone that catches fire that they're not allowed on planes, and that's what he have?
Oh my Lord.
And he working Cal? Oh my, what a contradiction.
Is he working Cal?
Yes, he has a big job in Cal, 50,000 a month, and he have a phone that catches fire in his pocket.
And how long has he been employed there? Can you?
I can't say. I don't know what he's doing either, but
did he come with the digital team?
Did I say if it catches fire, we could say liar, liar, catch it.
Did he come with the digital team?
I don't know.
The one that was in the...
He don't have to come with it. All he needed was a daddy to make a call and he's there.
Corporation Soul is calling, and I'm just letting you know that...
the Prime Minister has called and said, hire this boy.
My son will be by you today. Please give him the best services you can provide him. People are talking about all sorts of issues, including the issue of... and all of this is coming up because of the country's kind of openness on the internet and all of the different social media platforms.
Yes, indeed.
So there's an active discussion going on now about humans and their sexual preferences.
Who sparkles and who does not.
And one has to be very, considerate, because again, a human's choice is a human's choice.
Yeah.
The Vatican has decided that now it's going to be okay for that type of lifestyle, because they seem as if they know they cannot prevent it. They have seen so much of the destruction taking place in the world today with, the pasteurization of the buttocks.
Lord, pasteurization.
And one has to be very cautious, because, I was reading last night about the FCC and the way they deal with commentary. It's much different than how Trinidad and Tobago has interpreted it. And I'm wondering why in Trinidad and Tobago we want to move away from the death penalty, but adopt the principle of gagging free speech under what you call it, the Constitution of the United States of America. Freedom of speech is explicitly protected.
Yeah, well, that's America. We have freedom of thought and expression.
But we have freedom of thought, but not expression.
You can't say what you want. You can express yourself what you want, just don't say it. We like to say we have freedom of speech. We have adopted many Americanisms and thinking we have that as well. We don't.
Well, as we get ready for today's program, I'm going to look for something here that I asked I don't know where he put it.
I think I know it. I saw it when I was waiting.
All right. So as we open today's show, I want you to listen to what a caller had to say. He thought PNM politics was. It was kind of, jokey, but I think he was serious when he was making this point. So before we call Philip to the microphone, let's take in this for all but 6 seconds. Stay tuned. going on here? All but 6 seconds, but nothing. Oh, it could be my fault. Could definitely be my fault. Forgive me. I want to blame the wrong person today. Let's see how we do this. So I think we are now ready. Give me 1 second. You know, I get accustomed to the technology. Here is what the gentleman had to say yesterday.
Yeah, the policy is not diversification, but taxation, taxation, and moderation.
Once again.
Yeah, the policy is not diversification, but taxation, taxation, and moderation.
Taxation, moderation, and I couldn't remember the second one, but it was very informative, if I should call it that. I mean, we are in a country that, you know, many talk show hosts has always commented, $150 billion spent in the last 2.5 years. In the former administration, almost $300 billion spent. I pointed out to you my letter that went off to the agricultural minister, in which I advocated that the country has written off $400 million on the old GTL. That's just a part of the write-off. That's not the whole thing. And have spent a significant amount of money in putting down a plant in 2020, and this $400 million is 2.8 billion TT. And I asked if we had invested that money in the agricultural sector, something that Philip Alexander has been talking about much of time, where would we have been today, seeing that everybody in the world wants to eat pepper sauce, and that Trinidad and Tobago is the capital of scorpion pepper sauce, or scorpion pepper. I remember when my late family member, Moti Narayan Singh, was alive, we had one of the largest pepper estates in Trinidad and Tobago, just outside there in Arima. I bought a piece of land, about 125 acres. It's on the Caroni River, so you can imagine what happened. In those days, they were not paying farmers back for lost crop. 97 to nearly 100 acres of the land was planted in pepper. And we only had one flood, and Robert decided it's time to not look at pepper anymore. I'm not telling you that pepper is not a good product. I'm saying that we must find the right location. Maybe I was wrong in my decision. I should have grown Talapia because water would have been available. A wall wouldn't have helped when you carry any river bus. Forget it. I mean, the guy who bought the piece of land for me was able to take the same land and do agricultural product, pumpkin and watermelons, and he made a lot of money. I may have thrown the sponge in a little too early. The reality is that the survival of Trinidad and Tobago is very dependent on what we do with the surplus, quote unquote. I'm not saying that it exists, but I'm saying it can exist in the petrochemicals and the downstream petrochemical industry. Do we take that money and invest that money like we did in Malcolm Jones and have it written off? Or do we now take the opportunity and invest that money in the country for the purpose of real development, development that can help the Trinidad and Tobago we all want to see? And I'm hoping that sometime in the not too distant future, and before the next budget, we can have some intelligent people outside of us come to the studio and sit down and let's have a discussion about diversification. You know very well what Keith Rowley has said about diversification, and just before Philip comes on, let's take him in one more time. This is your Prime Minister, my Prime Minister, our Prime Minister, the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, the one who on the night of the elections was very, very focused on telling you, the people, I am the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. And I think if we listen to his voice, I think he stressed on Tobago more than Trinidad, because I think he's setting up Tobago to be taken over by him. But forget that for now. Here's what our Prime Minister said recently.
We talked a lot. I was Minister under Minister Patton, Prime Minister Patrick Manning. I was Minister of Planning and Development. I was responsible.
Where did you get that agitated? You know, you exhale very loud on the mic, right?
Serious?
When you're waiting too long, you start to exhale kind of hard.
I didn't know that.
I've been telling you that since long time now. Why you are telling you that?
I should
People
monitor-
hearing it.
I should monitor
When
that.
you get agitated because you're with you, listen.
No, it's just everything he raising issues that I want to
You
talk
start
about.
to- yes, you
I don't have a
exhale
pen. I
around.
want to make a note.
Since you used to come here every day, I realize you do that.
I want to make a note.
Certain aspects of our economy can be or cannot be. So now that I'm Prime Minister, I can more confidently drive my minister
man, go and
on
get it
some of
out
the
of
things
here.
that I know something about. When you have a Prime Minister who knows nothing of nothing, they will talk everything about
Africa
everything
has
and
some
get
big
nothing done.
cars for Africa.
Huh?
Cars have been paying thousands to get he happens and just walking
One
around.
of the areas
And
that
it's
we
easier
should
coming in
do
stores.
something is in the tourism sector. And that is why early in the game,
You know why Robert keeps giving this
I spoke to
piece of
the
jackass
government
talk?
of Sanders
Because
and asked
it
them to
wouldn't
look
change sycophants'
and
minds.
see if Tobago
Man, diversified.
He is such
They
a
get more
jackass.
tickets written. Then you can write that. Give officer a plaque for most tickets issued. That is diversification.
You have a Prime Minister who is devoid of critical thinking. You know what that means? That you have a country that cannot establish a vision for itself, because that's the vision it's lining up behind. That the only country in the world that can diversify.
Line oil and gas ticket the people, tax the people. Policeman comes on a WhatsApp video saying that's how they're trying to make money. They're not making enough money.
Because some people are still making $25 a week at the newspaper writing columns about diversification. Annoying. When you ask them, diversify into what? They can't tell you. What would you do to diversify the economy? Especially if you abandon the energy sector, they can't tell you. But on television, they're on radio, they're in newspaper, diversification. Well, let me tell you what our diversification is.
Right, well, let us tell you what our diversification is. Nobody in Trinidad and Tobago has ever denied that we have to continue very, very strongly in recognizing the value of the petrochemical industry. I don't know where he got this impression about abandoning the petrochemical industry. That has to be a nightmare that he alone experiences. And I can very well imagine, with no hair on his head, how complicated it is when he gets up in the night, having that nightmare, trying to pull, and then only realizing I got no hair on my head. Unfortunately, Prime Minister, you have made a very serious error in trying to give people the impression that anybody said anything about moving away from the petrochemical industry. Quite fortunately for us, we have it. We have not used it well. We have not used it for the betterment of the people of Trinidad and Tobago. We have used it for the wrong reasons. We have lost on it because we gave privilege to a few who really did not have the capacity. And we are making the same mistake again with Naikwan. And more so, having a man who is a senator, who is sitting in the present parliament, making laws and decisions in independent capacity, with privilege, because he's a head, he's one of those heads of the commissions, parliamentary commissions, that sits and is able to have confidential information, but sits on a competitive company's board. And I don't think, that is like looking at a very sensual woman and telling yourself, I'm not going to touch that. And there's only two of you all in the room, no cameras, no video, no sound, nobody else knows.
Yeah, impossible.
And you know,
Can't say that's a joke. Because it has almost
I can't imagine what will go on. But anyhow, I see Philip is fuming at the ears. Good morning, Philip.
Good morning, Robert. You gave me an opportunity to show social media how patient I can be for 22 minutes. Good morning to all the loyal listeners of 104.7. Thank you so very much on this auspicious Thursday, the last Thursday before the local government by-elections in Barataria and Belmont East. The news that has come in is so exciting that the last polls are showing that the Progressive Empowerment Party's candidate, Felicia Holder, who you endorsed, Robert, she has a clear lead in Belmont East.
If she doesn't win, I'll be very disappointed. I'll have to revert to drinking alcohol.
I'm telling you. No, listen, but they're saying, this morning, even Newsday, I have to admit, she has a commanding lead. The Progressive Empowerment Party has kept to its campaign of make them think, educate, inform, and empower. Get the people into the conversation. The PNM and the UNC launched their campaign with Bacchanal. I put up my poster, they tear down my poster, I put up a new poster and going to the police to report my poster. That is the foolishness that the PNM and the UNC came to Belmont and Barataria with. The people just ignored it. They come and they try a stunt. They send Stuart Young in leotards to do Zumba.
Leotards?
They ignore leggings. They ignore that. They realize that the Progressive Empowerment Party's campaign that just put information into the people's hands of where their options and their choices are. And we sent a vibrant firebrand of a candidate. Nicole Young is a nice girl.
Yeah.
She's a human being. The UNC candidate, I don't even know her name. And they are decent human beings.
No, I met her. She
But-
was on there here.
But they're not in Felicia Holder's class as a political candidate, as a representative. Robert, if you have to send a warrior to represent you.
Well, it will be like Croatia.
Correct.
In the first ever World Cup final.
Correct.
And they done vying already to
Correct,
win, you know.
correct.
They're looking to give France 4 goals.
All the bandwagoners who talking about football and don't realize, and I said it early in this World Cup, this is a football lovers World Cup. This is about attach yourself to no team, you know.
No.
This is about watch and see who playing real football.
Yeah.
England set
and
up.
it's the same thing with the politics.
Exactly.
And about to bring in the real message.
But exactly. So this morning in Balize House, they actually fire their campaign manager, bring a new person, they're changing gears, they're going in St. Francois school tonight. Now people in Belmont saying, we never see the Prime Minister here.
He coming? He going there tonight?
He going tonight. He and Minister of Everything,
going.
Stuart Young, all of them going tonight to St. Francois to come and talk issues now.
Wouldn't it be nice for both of them to show up in leotards?
No,
That is a nightmare. I want to tell you this. Keith Christopher Rowley, if you really want to demonstrate, you have the ability to think and to run this country, invite me tonight. Let's debate St. Francois. You set the whole agenda. Just invite me and let us have a debate. Run it live on every media. Let us debate the critical issues of this country, Trinidad and Tobago and Belmont East. Show people that you're not a stunt artist. Robert Amar, every time you play that clip of Keith Rowley saying, diversify into what?
It was worrying me.
We should have fired him.
Yeah.
We should have fired him.
Yeah. He should have gone already.
That moment.
Yeah.
Every
That disrespect for Trinidad.
that is
and Tobago
beyond
people.
disrespect, Robert. That is an admission that the man doesn't have a critical thought in his head.
I told people already, Philip, excuse me for a second, when a man is accustomed in his private life, in his bedroom, to only deal with the issues in one way, he cannot be a critical thinker.
Listen, the man does not approach with logic.
He's not a concoctionist.
Never say it. No.
Man is a concoction as he's telling all kind of stories.
That is a fact. And that is the PNM we know. Keith Rowley ascended the corridors of power in this country as an outright bacchanalist and teller of untruths. I am in an argument on social media 2 days ago, believe it or not, with Herbert Volney and Fitzgerald Hines. Because Ghassan Youssef...
You wasting your time
No,
with
listen,
Fitzgerald Hines?
I'm tagged in a comment on a post that Ghassan Youssef, former mayor of Arima, put out on Facebook, and he said the Progressive Empowerment Party is the only choice to lead Trinidad and go forward, and that he endorses Felicia Holder and Christophe Samlal and Barataria. So the PNM sent attack dog in chief Fitzgerald Hines, because Rowley was Manning's attack dog. Fitzgerald Hines is Rowley's attack dog. So Fitzgerald Hines and Herbert Volney tag teaming me on this comment thread. And I asked Fitzgerald Hines, you're an officer of the court. You were a police officer. You're a lawyer. You work in the Attorney General's office. And you are tag teaming me with a man, Herbert Volney, who is guilty of treason, who used the parliament to hijack the legislature and write a law to free men that he admitted to in his apology to the nation. Herbert Volney said he wrote Section 34, that he was responsible for Section 34. Fitzgerald Hines, the Section 34 that gave Keith Rowley relevance, that you and the PNM marched against, that you linked and tagged to Emailgate, that fabrication that went nowhere. Keith Rowley is now Prime Minister almost 3 years. And we've heard nothing about Section 34. And we've heard nothing about Emailgate.
Nothing at all.
A double-tongued deceiver, a serial teller of untruths, liar, king of the infidels. Keith Rowley will go down in history as the worst Prime Minister this country has ever had.
He will.
And he have 2 years to go.
No, I don't think he has that long.
Constitutionally, he have 2 years to go.
Right,
Robert, this band of malcontents going to burn this country down. Colm Imbert's son. That issue has fractured the society in this country. I'll tell you why. We don't realize it yet. When things fall apart, you have to, critical thinkers, go back and find the point at which it fell apart. When the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service and the Prime Minister, the 3 Ministers of National Security and the Attorney General ignored the fact that we had a mass shooting in Trinidad in Chagaramas. That's what happened. A mass shooting, including a little 8-year-old boy. They said nothing.
Not a thing.
And you bring out your elite units to find Colm Imbert's son's phone
I'm not finding
because it have compromising pictures and videos of him, apparently, with some man from Laventille, allegedly. I don't know what they were doing. But how is that the purpose of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service? All phones have something called Find My Phone.
No, but that's only if it's a new
Yeah,
phone.
set it up too.
Come on.
Yeah, set it up.
All phones have something called Find My Phone. I
Only
want
if it's a new phone.
the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service to tell Trinidad and Tobago how many other phones have they found
None.
besides Colm Imbert Jr. And I'll tell Colm Imbert something. They have a saying, whom the gods will destroy, they first make mad.
Yeah, true.
Colm Imbert sit down in the parliament and talk, or was it on Facebook when Daryl Smith was doing it in parliament and calling Barry Padarat princess and fairy. And it turned out he have a princess of his own home.
Oh Lord, we don't know that. We don't know that.
I don't know, but it fall flat on him. And you know what? You know what I'm upset about? You know what I'm upset about, Robert? Because 4 days later, when the country pushed back over that phone, Keith Rowley lamenting and distraught and rending his garments over what took place in Chagaramas. And he wanted to bring out the elite units now. We didn't know we even had elite
I didn't
units.
even know we had that.
We have elite units in the phone finding business. And I don't want to dwell on it too much. And to the people who get upset, they have a damn right to be upset.
Yeah, but you see, they're not getting upset with the phone. They're getting upset with you. They're getting upset because you most likely saying something they don't want to hear. It's one of these
But
stories.
the handful of the sycophants, you still taking them on.
I
You
don't
still
take
giving
them-
them
I
credibility.
don't take them
Today,
on. The point
today
is
the
not that.
station manager of Power 102 had to call me because this morning I was supposed to be on Power 102 and they advertised it. Yesterday evening I told Steve Kahn, who operates the show, on a telephone call to confirm, and I said, Steve, I witnessed what was done to my 2 candidates on that show this week. And people saw when the show was done and they were off air, they forgot that they were live on social media. And people was watching their body language and their antics as to what they were doing, the 2 Progressive Empowerment Party candidates, and the public was incensed.
No, share that with me because
I will send it for you. And listen.
this,
So I tell Steve Kahn, I said, listen to me. Your 2 co-hosts, they don't have a posy and a penny. So if they have to defame me, and I listen because I'm watching it, Poor Blaze on Slam 100, they come in at the PEP, their whole narrative is attack PEA to destroy PEP. So Poor Blaze from JW and Blaze and Slam 100.
Attack PEA.
No, but that's the plan. That's the whole narrative from Rienzi and Balize House. When the station manager called me this morning to find out why was I not on Power 102 this morning, I told Steve Kahn that unless Gillette himself accepts liability for any defamation from his hosts on that show, I don't come in.
I'm not coming.
Because it don't make sense trying to sue Rhoda Barrett and Wendell Stephen if between them they can't afford a box of chicken and chips.
I hear you.
And that is the truth.
But you know, it brings into perspective what I was saying this
He
morning
called,
about
no, but
the-
they reschedule a show because they want me to come on the station now because they want to deal with that. So the station manager has called me to come on the show tomorrow at noon and I will go. Because I have no problem facing any detractors. But what they're doing now is they're using second-hand and third-hand defamation and putting things on you. Fazir Mohammed tried that on TV6 and I told him, you cannot do that. That is not journalism. That is not a media. That is not an interview. What you are doing is scandalizing and propaganda. And you're trying to hold yourself to a higher standard. But Trinidadians need to understand, media selling one thing, trust.
Well, I want to agree.
When people hear 104.7 news, they must be able to trust it. Rhoda Barrett told Felicia Holder on, listen to how these people just jump out themselves, that all the politics you see on the news is paid for. Robert, the news
Can't be paid for. If it is paid for, then it's not news.
is propaganda.
Yeah.
If Rhoda Barrett is certain
Now that is happening.
that Power 102 News is sponsored by political parties, we in deep, dark and murky water.
No, but that is an unprofessional position for somebody.
Her
who is-
position, and you could access it, we have it live, our social media. She said the news in Trinidad news media is paid for by the political parties. That means you cannot trust CNC3 and TV6 to give you real news.
Well, you could always come by 104.7.
Absolutely. And I said before that this station is the last news radio station in the country that stands between us and the darkness. Trinidad is in deep, dark and murky water. If Rhoda Barrett, a PNM spokesperson, could admit on national radio that the PNM and the UNC pays for
It
news.
wasn't on national radio, it was on social media.
No, they were on Power 102.
Yeah, but live she said that?
Live on air.
Bloody hell.
She said live on air to Felicia Holder that you're expecting, because Felicia raised the point, that fair news coverage is the function and purpose of the Telecommunications Authority of Trinidad and Tobago. That they are supposed to ensure, because in the articles of the Constitutional Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, freedom of speech that you raised earlier, freedom of political association come before freedom of the press. And that you are supposed to give the people of Trinidad and Tobago all of the options
And
that
let them make a
exist
decision.
and let them make a decision. Instead, what you're doing is,
You can't guide them.
Robert, you've been a guest speaker at many of our political meetings over the past 18 months.
Correct.
We've had 19 public meetings.
And not in the press.
Not once. So we are now, but we had to wait and gather that as evidence. It's a track record of abuse. And now we are going to, after the local government election,
Equal opportunity.
we are going to bring a legal action against the Telecommunications Authority of Trinidad and Tobago for failure to do their job. We're supposed to have equal time and equal representation as a
all
political
political
organization.
parties,
We are the only political organization besides the PNM and the UNC that contesting this election, but CNC3 and TV6 giving MSJ and David Abdullah coverage.
But I could never
That's hard to
understand
believe.
that.
MSJ get big.
When I see this man go down in Rowley's territory the
And
other
I
day,
have to believe.
you know one of the things you didn't see him?
No.
He was shaking, you know.
Because he didn't expect that.
He was shaking,
He
you know.
didn't expect people of Karanaj to tell him they sent the wrong man. The people of...
When you look at the fella, he looked like he was frightened, you know. Abdullah, you can't play mass and Fred Powder. If you don't have the confidence in the people of the country, then you should drop out of the race.
I went Belmont East, Pigot's Corner this week, 8 o'clock in the night. Stand up at that intersection and did my live video from there. I trust the people of Trinidad and Tobago.
Why so do I?
David Abdullah put himself in danger. I'll tell you why. If you are a prime minister of a country this small and this laid back, if you are an effective prime minister, you don't need blue lights.
No, you don't need it.
You don't need police escort. I watch, they have presidents of countries 50 times the size of this country that goes to the grocery in their own car. And walking out in the car park, you might see 2 or 3 citizens that stop and talk to you how you're going. Because people are generally like this. If you make sure that I could go about my life,
Comfortably.
you go about yours.
Yeah.
The well-being of the citizens is the function of government. Once government makes sure, Kevin, that you can get a proper job and raise your family and own a home, you have any problem with the people will defend you. You don't need special guards. The fact that Keith Rowley and our presidents, you ever see the president of the Republic of Trinidad? The size of that entourage is such a waste of money. Such a waste of money, and it's a stunt.
They all want to say, I'm important.
It's bling.
Look at how much I
Bling.
have.
Right. Correct.
But
That's bling.
I agree with you.
That's bling. It's unnecessary, unimportant, and it's a massive waste of money.
So important.
We send one
It's
Jeep.
like 6 cars, you know.
Robert, we send one.
Presidential car,
And-
2 in the front, presidential car, 2 in the back.
But this is a
and our
narco state of billion-dollar infamy globally that we've sent cocaine all over the world. That they've gotten from Trinidad and Tobago. We send one police jeep to sink in Cedros. But to move the president, they had to send an entourage of 24.
6 vehicles, minimum.
Nobody knows and nobody cares.
6 minimum.
Our president, the office of the president of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, is irrelevant to the lives of the people. It serves no purpose. It serves absolutely no purpose. Close behind that is the Senate. We have a system of government set up to fail. The people do not know who their representative is, and there's no clear line of communication.
That is why I said to somebody the other day, no matter what happens with a 16-15 in a simple majority, including the budget for the country, if even all the opposition and all the independents vote against the budget, it still passes.
That's the point.
So what the hell is the use?
And that's the point.
Yeah.
No, they tell you.
What's the use?
Now these stunters go in the parliament and tell you that they need special majority, but there's a special majority. The only thing that you need special majority for in this country is to take away essential rights and civil liberties. And Faris Al-Rawi has been taking a sledgehammer to the Constitution since he's been elevated to Attorney General. Faris Al-Rawi is second in line to be fired. Keith Rowley should be fired for his absolute lack of critical thinking. Faris Al-Rawi should be fired for his dictatorial tendencies. And Colm Imbert should be fired for failure to do the job. The three of them don't understand how critical their roles are in the society. Colm Imbert is the Minister of Finance. His job is to steward the economy. Faris Al-Rawi's job is Attorney General. He's to steward law enforcement. He's the arbiter of the nation's laws. Keith Rowley, as Prime Minister of the Republic, guides the well-being of the citizens. The three of them fail. All three fail. Look at your Minister of National Security. He's been found guilty of fraud.
Yes.
Because there's no way he was not found guilty of fraud if he sold a $500,000 apartment back to the man who sued him for $10. That's part of a judgment,
Robert.
Robert.
Not alleged if the judge tell you have
That
to
is
do it.
part of a judgment. So that means if you end up being judged and adjudicated that you have to return the house, then that
Something
means
went wrong at the beginning.
you received that property under fraudulent, right? We, the people, trying, you raise some issues. You talking about the United States and freedom of speech. In the United States, freedom of speech is enshrined in the Constitution through an amendment called the Bill of Rights. We have nothing like that. In Trinidad and Tobago, your Attorney General said, none of our rights are absolute.
But remember, under the terrorism act that they've been working on with the Media Association inside of there, they want to hold people like you and I culpable for making statements.
Robert, listen.
Where I think it's $10 million
Robert,
in the fee.
Robert, I want to tell you something. A proper government managing this country, all this terrorism and all this nonsense could be done in a week. In a week. China's a dot.
Yeah.
China's a dot. Look
I
at
don't know about a week, but
Robert,
I think it could be done quickly.
Robert, look at New York City.
Yeah.
Robert, look at New York City. I want to tell you how this is done quickly. There's a concept called pull the thread.
Right. It's like the dog food bag. For those of you who don't know, when you buy a 55-pound dog food, it have a thread. When you pull it, the whole thing just comes apart.
And the whole thing could empty out, right?
The whole thing could
So
empty
your
out.
job as Minister of National Security,
It's a pull the thread.
job one is to identify the thread and then to pull the thread.
Yeah.
Because once you start properly, because the country's never been properly run, we've never had proper law enforcement, we've never had proper adjudication and establishment of justice. Once you start bringing to justice, and you have to start in the police service, you have to bring in
You have to clean up.
external people trained in internal affairs, you can't just bring any investigator.
I kind of always wondered why we never did that, because to be honest with you, we already know we have a corrupt position inside of there. Whether it is 50%, 10% or 90%, I don't know. But the only way to find out that is to bring some external, internal affairs people who will integrate into the system.
So why has neither Manning, Pandey, Kamala or Keith Rowley done that? But all four have said that our police service is corrupt.
Yeah, again, yes.
David West, the head of the Police Complaints Authority, has said that our police is the biggest gang in the country. That is an indictment against all the men and women.
Sure, I think it's been done.
All the men and women. We have a professional standards bureau.
Yeah.
We have a police
We have
a police complaints division.
Waste of time.
So we have 3 organizations responsible for
Doing
effective,
nothing.
and they all fail.
They do nothing.
Let me tell you something. You bring in the New York City Police Department Internal Affairs Unit 6 months contract, and you will clean the entire police service. They have
I don't dispute that.
they have 65,000 police in New York that they take care of. We have 5,000 or 6,000 here. And they said that the impossible tasks, I want to show you something. You see how Keith Rowley said that he doesn't understand diversification? You have to go at the
He
thing.
didn't say that. He really said diversification
It's impossible. It's a waste of time.
It's a bad word. It's frustrating.
We broke diversification down to into agriculture, down to kale. That we could grow kale in Trinidad and Tobago, that the exact same product that sells in PriceSmart for $45 imported from California could be grown in Trinidad for $15.
Yeah. Well, I put it simpler than that. I put it down to a barrel of oil and how much bottles of pepper sauce we'll get in it, Scorpion.
A barrel of pepper sauce,
A
55
barrel
gallons of pepper sauce.
55 gallons.
55 gallons of pepper
Divided
sauce.
by 300 ml to 300 ml bottles. And I'm sure when you multiply it by $3, I even went down from 5 to 3. We get $1,000 US for a barrel.
No, but you see, you say that and then you laugh, but you're true and you're correct and you're so on point.
$1,000 US a barrel.
Robert,
We're still forcing to buy oil for
Trinidad and Tobago,
72.
when you research this, Trinidad and Tobago, Moruga Scorpion pepper that you're talking about,
Yes.
is most used for the manufacture of pepper spray. That is used in law enforcement. Every soldier, every police officer in the world, hundreds of millions of units,
spray, yeah,
because it
yeah,
expires, hundreds of millions of people. We could grow Moruga Scorpion pepper on all that land in Caroni and establish a pepper spray industry in Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah.
Think about that. You know the size of the industry that is Tabasco to Louisiana.
Oh, Lord.
When you look at things like that, what Coca-Cola means to Atlanta.
Yeah.
When you look at world brands, we have a world brand here, Angostura Bitters. We've gone down every side street and played the fool with this. But the thing that we have is Angostura Bitters.
It is.
And we have never treated Angostura Bitters to the point where that the number 3 and the number 2 bitters are closing the gap. That if you don't get Angostura Bitters, get the other one.
Yeah, when you get the other one, you stick there. You're not coming to Angostura.
Exactly.
Because you're getting exactly what you want.
But Tabasco is still Tabasco, and Hershey's chocolate is still Hershey's chocolate, and Coca-Cola is still Coca-Cola. When you have a world brand, you defend and you build and you maximize
Why
your
we
brand.
don't launch Rowley Cola?
That was not to get people sick. To get people sick.
Balize
We
juice,
need.
Balize juice. Why we don't launch Balize juice?
They have Balize juice now. That's what have those sycophants walking around nowadays.
Oh, Lord.
Robert, if somebody beating you with politics and you still going and vote for that, it had to be some kind of hallucinogen.
Yeah.
That had to be something making you, in your mind, incapable of thinking straight. The people have to come to the point. And the people of Belmont is going to show Trinidad and Tobago that the issues of the people and their well-being is more important than every stunt that you're willing to stunt.
I hear you. All right, people. We're going to just pay some bills and we'll return in just about 2 minutes. And we'll work towards winding up the show today. Rain has started to fall. Those of you smart people outside here, I suggest you very clearly that you speed up today. You mash the pedal to the metal to the pedal. Go as fast as you can go. Do not worry about mashing brakes. Don't stop at the traffic lights, because if you stop at the traffic lights, you may cause a collision. So just run through the red lights as you're accustomed doing.
Robert,
And when you
tell
go to the
them
gas
you're being
station-
sarcastic. Robert, tell them you're being sarcastic.
And when you go to the gas station-
because the police service that found call members' phone could come and tell you that you're leading people astray. I want to tell you something. Open that and close that with, this is sarcasm. This is a spoof. This is me taking the piss out of the nonsense that passes for leadership and governance in this country, because you're right.
It's
and
a
you are
suggestion
the
I'm making to you,
you are the
you should not do.
you are the only person raising the issues of the things that should be enforced.
But when I speak to you and tell you don't do it, it's like a child.
You're still
Do
gonna
not do
do it.
this, do not do that. You're still going to do it. You're 14 years old, but you want to go and sleep with a 22-year-old and you get pregnant, and then you want to say, I don't know who is the father, mommy.
Do you know
I
that,
don't know who is the father, daddy.
Do you know that right now we have more people following this show live on social media than the Prime Minister had when he was on 95.5 on a show that was advertised nationally?
Way, well, praise the Lord.
That means that the people of Trinidad and Tobago have no interest in what that clown has to say.
Well, I think we need to change and put a court jester hat on him. Might make a difference.
Oh boy.
I'm speechless with that one. Because
Okay.
take your
All
break.
right, people,
Take
we
your
take a
break.
break.
Take a break.
With its gleaming rows of pedicure stations, it's an oasis located at the corner of Frederick Street and King Street. So come in and relax while enjoying spa pedicures, manicures, nail extensions, waxes,
Watch me.
facials, and hair
The
soaps.
political earthquake that will run through this country if Felicia win Belmonte's. She gonna win it. Robert, that is a
If she don't win,
PNM.
I'll be decided.
No. Listen, they don't have a better candidate for that seat. And watch me. That's a PNM strong.
You know what's the good part about it? She is, I don't let it sound wrong, but she's a virgin. That means they say she's coming clean. Only
Untainted.
Untainted.
Untainted. She brings to the, yeah, and that's exactly it. And she's not naive. She's willing to talk to every single voter and to answer their questions where their concerns are. And people have concerns. People are jaded by politics, and all of a sudden there's an air of excitement in Belmonte's.
When you look at the numbers though, what has she been able to give her a suggestion to check and see where's the number, and every time she meets with people counted down, where she with that? Did she do it that time?
Look at that WhatsApp. I'm just showing you an example. That's Lindira Udit. From all sides, PNM, UNC, COP, people are realizing that there is an opportunity. You raised it earlier. Social media gave us a platform, and Robert, I think you and 104.7 can be the catalyst to get all the critical thinkers together. You asked about it. Don't wait for them to do it. Let's get a room. Let's broadcast live on 104.7. Let's broadcast on social media. And let's sit all the critical thinkers around the table and identify the 5 most important problems plaguing Trinidad and Tobago and the solutions. Like we know, if you clean up the police service, you clean up national security. If you put a clock on court matters, 3 years,
No, you have to, you know.
a
Because
clock
if
on
you
court
don't do
matters.
that,
If you
you
don't,
don't
the justice fails.
Yeah.
Justice on time. Well, I mean, they hijacked that for the prison transport thing. But you're entitled to speedy justice. You're not entitled to sit down in a jail cell for 20 years.
No, you're not entitled to do that.
Vernon de Lima is one of the most respected jurists at the criminal bar. He has endorsed the Progressive Empowerment Party. Patrick Watson, a very respected economist nationally, has endorsed the PP. The people are realizing that what we're doing here is not the same cult of personality politics they're accustomed to. That this is an opportunity for us to seriously address the issues so we can have a better country in the fastest possible time.
That's important. That's important.
I think you should convene that meeting, Robert. And I think we should identify the thinkers. You need environmentalists. You need people in law enforcement. You need people in agriculture, on finance and the economy, social development and management. The issues...
They are broad-based of people. Because all of them interconnected. Can't work one without the other. To all those out there on the Facebook Live, thanks very much for signing on. To Nigel, I'm doing fine. And to all the others, Can't get to you right now, but don't worry. We'll be in touch. Here again. 8 minutes before. Time check. Party foods.
Alrighty, people, so we get back inside here. It's now 8 minutes to go to the top of the hour. This comes to you courtesy of Hearty Foods. Remember, it's a place in Arima you can enjoy a whole lot of great specials, great deals on food all the time, especially on a Wednesday when it's called the Wicked Deal Wednesday. There's a whole lot of great deals to be had, especially the people in the Arima area. You know what I'm talking about, and if you're near to the area, you got to go and check that out as soon as you can. Get an idea of what's going on with Hearty Foods.
Okay, people. The B-Mobile Tego app is the only place you can watch more than one game live. Switch between games, rewind, pause, and never miss a goal. Those of you who were there yesterday, you know very well that's true.
They don't want to rewind that. They don't want to see that twice.
Get direct FIFA content before the games, during halftime, and after the games. What are you waiting for? Log on to www.tegotv.com. That's www.tegotv.com. The game is on us with B-Mobile, the mobile broadcaster. And it's Christmas in July. Yes, indeed, at Value Optical, Santa is delivering savings at every Value Optical branch. It's a BOGO gift that you can give to yourself or your loved one or your friend or to whomever you choose. That's buy one, get one free. Buy one and get 50% off the second pair. I said free. 50% off the second pair. Throughout July. It's Christmas come early. Value Optical, caring for your eyes. Yeah, so let's spend the last couple of minutes talking about the Barataria and the Belmont.
I just want to tell you something one more thing, right? What's happening and what you mentioned earlier, all that comes under the heading changing the narrative. We've changed the conversation. We've changed the conversation in Belmont and Barataria to the point where the PLM and the UNC have to change tack. They have to change gears and they have to come down and talk issues. So we've won. The people of Trinidad and Tobago have won a massive victory. Time to put aside the bullshit and bacchanal and noise. Focus on the conversations that affect the lives of the people. If we get a conversation with all of the people away from race and divisiveness, if we get to issues like how do people own a home, how do they afford food, how are they safe at night. You remember, Robert, growing up, you used to go out and find your friends and play in the park. Wherever they're going, you and all your friends safe. Look, they have this story about some minister's son interfere with a little 4-year-old child. You see that? I mean, it's disgusting, it's madness. I don't know how much of it is true and real, so I don't want to try the case here. But I'm saying that on the heels of Carl Mimbert's son and everything that's going on, they realize that all of these people, all they have is bacchanal to bring to the table. The country, the media of Trinidad and Tobago should be leading the national conversation and having symposiums, national phone-in, feedback. You could be doing polls. What do you think of this? What do you think of that? They've changed, they've dominated the conversation and said, and your Prime Minister just said it, that they failed and all they know how to do is fail. He's failed to diversify. He's failed at agriculture. He's failed at national security. They failed with this Attorney General is a joke. Faris Al-Rawi is a running joke, and I think Trinidad and Tobago has become the punchline to his joke.
The unfortunate thing about the failures of all of this, though, is that it doesn't help Trinidad and Tobago to get anywhere.
You have a minister of sport that says she ain't know nothing about sport, but she used to run and jump as a child so she could see.
No, but the more
that is a waste of public funds.
The more frustrating part of that is the issue as it relates to the Prime Minister telling the people in the clip that we have that he was the Minister of Planning.
We don't have enough time to deal with that, but Robert, that's the point. That's why we're here. 56 years later, no vision. Vision 2020 and Vision 2030 was a stunt to give financiers money. When you read those documents, it's a waste of time. They have no clue where to go. The people of Trinidad and Tobago have been corralled into sheep. We want to manage them and tell them how to think, when to think it.
And when to sleep.
Across the road from you is Gene Samuel. He represented us in about 5 Olympics. You telling me Keith Rowley don't know that? Or that Michael Phillips?
Yeah.
Or that even Dwight York? Russell Latapi. Look at this boy who is on ESPN, who is the goalkeeper for Trinidad. Shaka.
Yeah,
Shaka Hislop deals with sports professionals globally through ESPN on a daily basis and has been for about the last 10 years. You try to tell me we can't offer Shaka Hislop a consultancy in the Ministry of Sport? Fellas like Atto Bolden, who have not stopped training. Atto's stable of athletes right now for the Caribbean, not just Trinidad and Tobago, are operating at the highest level. You try to tell me just sport, just sport. We talk about culture, and all the Minister of Culture does is give money for nonsense. What we call culture in Trinidad and Tobago has taken us away from the true artistic expression of the people, wasting time and failing. And we as a nation not going to go anywhere of substance if we don't allow our people to express themselves how they fundamentally believe they are.
Well, we'll wait and see what happens on Monday, because at the end of it all, Monday is going to be a challenge.
Felicia Holder is going to win Belmont East. The Progressive Empowerment Party is winning Belmont East.
I want to clearly advocate that I think
the amount of people are piling on and endorsing her because she's seen, and Christophe closing the gap in Barataria, you know. Okay. If it wasn't for Felicia, Christophe would be the story. But Felicia is so incandescent right now. She is going to win, and that is going to send shockwaves around.
That is going to make a change in the thinking, and that will then take away this whole issue that one can look at a PNM stronghold as a PNM.
We'll discuss this further Sunday morning when I hear with Kevin, because I come in here, Kevin, and I bring in Felicia and Christophe, and we're going to deal with the issue Sunday. Robert, thanks a lot for having us on this Thursday show. I know it is one of the biggest shows. Sharon called me and tell me don't ever miss this show again, because apparently this show have a huge following, and the people is call and cuss when we're not here, and they like this little thing with me and Robert. I want to say to the people of Trinidad and Tobago, you have the responsibility now for how this country goes. Your vote is the most important thing in Trinidad and Tobago now. Use it wisely. We meet at Progressive Empowerment Party headquarters this Saturday at noon, and well, Monday night, everybody welcome to come to PEP HQ. Stay safe, Trinidad and Tobago.
All right, people, that's it for today. We are going to be off for the weekend. We hope that the rain falls for the whole weekend.